What is up, ladies and germs? Welcome back for another video. Today we have another episode of We Draft Paper, and the last We Draft Paper. This was the same day, and we did back-to-back drafts. And this next draft, I had a better idea of what's going on with the format, like things to look out for, things to look forward to, and things to avoid. So today we get into the draft. And this is a pretty good one. So I am MTG Flux. If you guys like what we do here and this TV series of We Draft Paper, please like, comment, and subscribe. Appreciate any of the support. And thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. So as we get in the video, enjoy. All right, party people, let's get in here. So I had one draft in this format, and the deck was super sweet, so I'm looking forward to see what we can get ourselves into, and let's get in there. I choose to do a different a zoomed in camera angle so it's easier to see the cards, read the cards, but it's hard to draft that way, so I hope that the filming of this kind of turns out applicable for everyone. So you got little goblin stuff, got a spell snare. I do like the Flock Imposter. We got a Blood Crypt. I don't really like the thought of taking dual lands first pick unless the pack is just absolutely garbage. This pack, I want to say it was great, but there's some quality cards in here and cards that kind of hedge me towards directions. We do have a fairy in there, we have an elemental, and we have a couple goblins. So there is a option of leaning take a goblin, wheel a goblin type thing. But I think the strongest card in here is the Flock Imposter. It's just good interaction, and then spell snare. So the Flock Imposter, what it does, it flash flying 2/2 for 3, and it returns target creature you control to your hand. So have some applications there. Blight Rot's really nice. Good option if I want to do that. Have a little 4 spells matter elemental, got some MoFolk. So I did learn after the first draft. We got my boy the Scarecrow guy. I did learn we need to prioritize 2-drops and strong 2-drops at that. So I see this Silver Guild Mentor, and I'd say, hey, we could probably do something like this. Our rare is Kirol, attended first year. So evidently in the lore, Strixhaven is out here. Has people from all their guilds or classes within Strixhaven, and they're taking a field trip. So I don't know much about the lore, but I did learn that while I was drafting, I was told. So it could be a straight up lie for all I know, but I like the thought of it. So that's why there's some first year cards. As we get into pick 3, just still keeping things open. I'm looking at this. I'm like, man, I wish this was in my last deck. Nice little elementals matters thing. So this is a nice pack for those elemental things going on. So got another fairy here. And what else we got? This Treefolk's not bad. You get to draw a card after removing one of its -1/-1 counters on it. Once again, this set does it has no +1/+1 counter anything. It does have things that pump until end of turn, but there's no counters on anything. Only -1/-1 counters, which is pretty cool. I do like the thought of that, and to not make blight of the mechanic, giving -1/-1 counters to whatever. Bad. I think I do like that kind of direction. So, all right. Got some elves, some goblins. I think I was open to goblins in my seat. Swat Away doesn't seem bad. Nice little interactive spell. Double blues, a little mana intensive, but that's okay. I do like this card, Pyretic Strike. You get the Blight 2 as an additional cost if you choose, but it's a disenchant, or it just destroys target creature power 2 or greater, or mana value 2 or greater. One of the two. But really nice pickup, premium looking removal there. The defenses is pretty good, just interaction. So I'm kind of playing with the idea. So we got the Watervine Farewell. I'm kind of going back and forth because I'm thinking MoFolk seems really good. The people that drafted it in the previous draft had some success to it. It's just very, very tempo based, and it's nice. I feel like tempo, like a strong tempo synergy, is really good and limited just by itself. So I think if I can take this, I can kind of put my stance on MoFolk, which is just a nice interactive spell. I think there's nothing wrong with being in that space. So feeling good about where I'm at this point. I do like this card, and it's white too. It's considered double white, so like I could play it in even a MoFolk deck. Runaway Together, I do think in the MoFolk deck can be really, really good. There can be some redundancy and interaction between other people's stuff. You have this Dream Harvest rare, which each opponent exiles the cards at the top of their library until they exile cards with a total mana value 5. You get to cast it for free or something like that. So, but it's 7 mana and doesn't seem like an applicable thing. If it had like no cost, like top, like maybe. But we're looking to settle into some MoFolk and kind of having an early commitment, which this deck ended up having more or less so. It was kind of blue-white good stuff plus like MoFolk, which is very interesting because like MoFolk wasn't the whole bit. I think I had ended with like 7 or 8 MoFolk in my deck, and that one of those is including the big 7 mana spell. So with Convoke, that bounces things and blah blah blah, it makes MoFolk tokens. So like I didn't have a whole lot of MoFolk things going on. So I think this is just easy crib swap. I think that it's a fine spell. I think exile matters. Like matchups against elves, I think that is actually going to go a big way. And it's instant speed, exiles it, sends it off forever. So I think that's pretty good. I'll give him a 1/1 for that. It's really not that big of a deal for me. I think that there's enough big threats in this. I'll also pick up a spell snare here, easy. So feeling okay about that. This was a proponent of Brian Boss putting together a pre-release but draft because our LGS doesn't do straight up draft. They just do pre-release kits, sealed things as most pre-releases go. However, like it was nice. It was cool to have getting some actual drafts in here as opposed to messing around with just the luck of sealed. Sealed is great and all, and it has its place, but it's not my favorite thing. Not my favorite form of limited, that's for sure. I play it often enough to where like I can have fun with it, but you know how it is. Like sometimes your pools are just butt and you don't want to do it. So I take the blue cards, the wizard elemental thing, just for the sake of cutting blue a little bit. No real direction though. I do feel like I'm being contested, and I ended up being contested. I was fighting over MoFolk with the person next to me. I think that's why I ended up into just blue-white good stuff and interaction and things like that. My games went really, really good. I was 2-0, like a strong 2-0 before I had to leave. But it was nice. It was cool, like to be able to, man, this is nice. Like we're off to some pretty cool stuff. I ended up beating one of the guys that beat me in the last draft, so I had some of my glorious vengeance there. And yeah, felt good about what we were doing, where we were going. I actually went up against my first round, my first and second. I had repeat games as I did the first draft. It's just by chance. It wasn't any like shenanigans or weird things, but I ended up getting my vengeance on both those players. So I'm like, yes. So that was a win for me. But this deck played out really, really well. So as we get into Seeing what we got going on here, the Flame Braider, it's actually really, really nice. I think this is a card that I was dying to get. Oh, I do like the Glamour Gifter, a little interaction. Even though it's a fairy, I think it just plays well in tempo style decks and things like that. It's like combat trick plus a little flyer body. The Explosive Prodigy is really good. Like, super jealous and sad that I don't get to do the elemental things again. I think I'm going to be trying to like play a lot of elementals just because it was just the most fun and kind of just burly cards, like teamer elemental stuff. Just seems like a fun thing to do. Taking good blue cards, never a bad place to be in my book. No Stone Rains though. I needed Stone Rains. That would have brought me happiness. We get past a Brigand. This is just a nice card. I thought this was actually a pretty good pick. So the Silver Guild Mentor would be just phenomenal in my deck. I think it's just a good card. 2/1 to make a 1/1 for 2. And you just got to behold a Merfolk. Seems great. But I'm looking at this, and this is also, I think this has, I'm never going to flip this, but it making a 1/1 as well. It's just like, well, it does the same thing for 1 more mana. So, like, I don't even feel bad about this. Like, I think they were comparable picks, and I think the worst part about it is I was probably sending mixed signals of that kind of stuff, so maybe that wasn't great, but because they had to, the person next to me had to pass back my way as well. But I don't regret it. I wanted to try the rare too, so like didn't feel too bad. You could see me just kind of waffling on this pick, but I think this is a fine thing to do and a good place to be. Yeah, I'm waffling hard. But yeah, we'll pass the rock. Let me know if you guys like the more zoomed in camera angle. I think this is going to be a little bit more of engaging for people and to kind of be able to read some cards as well. Yep. People are not so much liking the Kifkins so far. I mean, there are good variations of it, just super low to the ground and efficient. If you have that deck and you're in that lane, I still think you're in a fine spot. However, I don't think that once people kind of learn the format, like, I think things just get harder in that regard. I think I take the draw spell over the basically removal. Target creature can't attack or block, and then you can exile it, pay another 2. But then we get past the encumbered refinery or rejury or something like that. Anyways, but which is a nice card. But we get also past a Reese. So like I know I need to prioritize 2 drops. So having some options here is nice. This is just a big flyer. But I think Reese, I do want to check these rares and see what things we can do. And Reese kind of provides when it eats, it's 2/2 flash, and you can persist on another creature. So if you're looking to make trades and you persist on it and it comes back with a -1/-1 counter, or just saves your creature from like a removal spell and just coming back in with a 1/1 counter. I had some interactions with Reese to where I did it on the 2/1 Merfolk that makes a Merfolk, and then it comes back and immediately dies, but you still get your ETB of make another Merfolk. So like that had some kind of cool application and play to it. Also with trading a creature, you still get it up a 1/1. Like, it's not a bad exchange. Probably not optimal, but those were, I did that a couple times during this draft or during gameplay. I do not have gameplay to provide today because I had to kind of roll out and I didn't get any filming of that. Honestly, I was so bad I didn't get film of the deck list, so I'm going to have to bring Dishonor to you guys just for a little bit for the one time on showing off the deck list. I'm usually really good at showing that deck list too. So the Dagger is not even that bad neither. It is a Merfolk and it makes 2 things, and Dagger actually played really well. Easy thing to do to put on like flyers to kind of keep beating in on damage and things like that. So it's not a bad place to be. But I'll take the 4 mana 4/3 Merfolk, whenever it becomes tapped. -3, -0. I am looking for a springleaf drum to have easy ways to tap some of my merfolk, because some of them do have like tapping abilities whenever it becomes tap, blah, blah, blah. Temporal cleansing, nice little interaction spell. It's just tempo. Just like, yes, you will have to draw this bad card, or it just turns into a removal spell and you put it in the bottom of your deck. So I actually was a little bit more impressed on how temporal cleansing played than I anticipated. So, but the card was really, really great. There was some turns where I'm like, turn 4 temporal cleansing your one of your creatures, and then you just have to put it away, and then the next turn I just do it again, and like it's slow, but like if they're not just like Kithkinning you out or goblining you out, just stuffing the board with nonsense, then you're looking pretty fine. So decent play there. So, and it also has Convoke, so it can be cheaper too, and that came up a lot of it because I have multiple creatures that just make other 1/1s and things like that going wide. The dagger is has pretty good play as well, and yeah, feeling good about this setup. I'm not feeling like this is a great Merfolk deck, but I do feel confident in like what my deck does, and it's very tempo based and provides strength by just getting under them and providing those layers of tempo. Tempo meaning like basically scratch what you did your turn and then try to outvalue them that way. Thirst for Identity is pretty good. Nice little card draw spell. I like this more than the other one for sure. And yeah, plays well. Is this where we pick up the dagger? Yeah, dagger comes out, makes a changeling, 2/2 equipped, which greedy me wants it to be 1, but that's okay. I think if it's like a 2 mana thing makes a 1/1, you know, maybe it's too much if it costs 1 to move around. I think that actually the more I say it, probably will make it tough. Yeah, we get a little 3-drop Merfolk, 1/3 flying. Whenever it becomes tapped, you pump +1/+0 another creature. And I take the removal spell, which is pretty good, but that little 2 mana Kitkin wasn't bad too, and it doesn't need to be in a Kitkin deck. I think there's just some quality cards that are not in your Typal or guild or whatever you want to call it, or your kindred. There you go. That can still just like overlap other archetypes. If it does the thing, it does the thing. You can't overthink those strategies. Like if it says ETB, draw a card, it doesn't matter if it's a kindred thing. Like you want that card. Like that matters. You know, that's why the Brigid wasn't even a bad pick by any means. It actually played out really well in my deck. However, like it's just a value card, and even though it's not a Merfolk, it doesn't matter. Sometimes you just gotta evaluate a card past like all the highlighted synergy to it. Little Sentinel here, but we got a 2-drop Merfolk option. Rhyme Chill seems fine, but as Vivid for cost reduction. Only playing 2 colors. I'm not looking to really do Vivid things like that. This is a nice pickup. This is what I was trying to pick up earlier. And that's just a green pump spell, which I guess could have been, it was splashable as 1 pip, but I'll take the 2-drop 5/4, and whenever it comes in with 3 -1/-1 counters, and it'll turn into, it takes one of its -1/-1 counters away. We get our Springleaf Drum, so feeling good about that. So I just thought like, man, I feel like that's just gonna, so I'm probably gonna get pseudo roasted for passing that Hexing Squelcher. I did not keep these cards. I gave I gave him back to him. He bought the pack, so I'm gonna make sure he gets it. So not feeling too bad about passing the Squelcher. I didn't take it, did I? There's no way I took it. Maybe I'm just like over here, like, am I keeping these cards today or not? Because I'll take $30 right now. I don't care. I actually do think, because I wasn't sure. Because I thought like maybe we're paying them after or whatever have you. But I was like, it doesn't matter. It's fine. Just $30. Let's try to win some games. That's where my head was at. All right, Runaway Together is an option. Little 1/3 MoFolk for 2. Not a bad option as well. And then we see Abigail, first year, which to me it looks like a white card. And first strike, flying, and lifelink. And basically what it does, it makes target creature lose all abilities but gain first strike, lifelink, and flying. So like it made my Brigade like really good. Have it being a 3/2 flyer, lifelink, first strike, like great. That felt fantastic. So feeling good about where we're that direction of just that nice little cheap pickup. Hopefully the mana works out. It is a double white pip card with no black fixing to kind of help it. Have another removal spell here. And let's see. I don't think I end up main decking the counter spell, but it does play really well with Merfolk, especially with things with flash and things like that, which I had plenty of. Beautiful Overgrown Tomb. I think we took it just for the sake of taking it. There was nothing really there for me. Temporal Cleansing, it's not a bad pickup here. Another counter spell. Goblin Chieftain. There's a sweet goblin deck going around. The only Brian Boss, I think, was the only goblin. No, I played a goblin deck. No, I don't remember. No. Yeah, so Temporal Cleansing, exactly what we're looking for. Feels good. Nice interaction. I wish Temporal Cleansing was instant speed. It'd probably be one of the best commons in the set if it was instant speed, but still not nothing. Convoke goes a long way. Most boards you can't just like freely willy-nilly attack into anyway, so not too shabby. So yeah, this deck felt good on gameplay. And it felt good during the draft. Actually, I would take that back. I wouldn't say it felt good during the draft, but I knew I had some quality, like my deck does something. I had a strong direction, and that direction was tempo. So didn't feel too bad about that. I had no like real like outlying cards that like bombs. No bombs in my deck. 0. But Blossom Bind's a nice little pickup late here. Kind of does what you need it to do. So yeah, as we finish this up, yeah, this deck was good. I was 2-0 with it. I wasn't able to get in a third game, but I wish I did. I did just have to leave. I will just straight up cut someone off a tweeze. Like that was just too late for that card to go around. So yeah. I do think that this deck has legs in the sense of like there are just good things going on here. If I were to rank like the Kindred stuff, I think Merfolk probably is the strongest, well supported, just because like a lot of it just interacts and just does things like that, and it's just more or less 2-for-1s going on in that space. I think Goblins are really good if you have the tools for it. Elementals is probably the biggest, baddest thing, but it does have its weaknesses. And what else we got? Kifkin, I do think maybe the weakest. It just doesn't do quite enough, and if it's not fast enough, which most limited decks are not quite fast enough to just aggro them out, then and the removal in white and green are okay, mainly stuffed in white for sure. But you have those and elves. I may say elves and merfolk are just kind of the top bangers, and then elementals are from there. Giants isn't supported, Tree Folk isn't supported, but those are kind of my first thoughts of like how the kindreds are ranked. But yeah, I'm probably just going to stuff elementals for the rest of the format. We'll have a good time. That's not true. Elves was a lot of fun that I played on Arena and stuff like that, so feeling good about that. That being said, I really do appreciate you guys hanging out with us today. We will see you in the next time. Once again, I'm MTG Flux. Please like, comment, subscribe, and I am grateful for you all. I'll catch you all later in the next video. Peace. Bye, sugar.